and Janelt are the two holder midfielders, with Schade, Damsgaard and Anthony as the attacking midfield three playing behind Igor Thiago. It's a 2 p.m. kickoff, Leeds United against Brentford. Two unbeaten sides meet at Ellen Road this afternoon as Leeds United take on Brentford, and for the home side it is Trafford in goal with a back three of Rodon, Bio and Mukharamovic. Then it's four across the middle, Bogle, Ampadu, Stack and Justin, with Arison and Okafor supporting Calvert-Lewin up front. For Brentford it is Kelleher in goal with a back four of Coyote, Ayer, Collins and Lewis Potter. Sangare and Janelt are the two holder midfielders, with Schade, Damsgaard and Anthony as the attacking midfield three playing behind Igor Thiago. It's a 2 p.m. kickoff, Leeds United against Brentford. Two unbeaten sides meet at Ellen Road this afternoon as Leeds United take on Brentford, and for the home side it is Trafford in goal with a back three of Rodon, Bio and Mukharamovic. Then it's four across the middle, Bogle, Ampadu, Stack and Justin, with Arison and Okafor supporting Calvert-Lewin up front. For Brentford it is Kelleher in goal with a back four of Coyote, Ayer, Collins and Lewis Potter. Sangare and Janelt are the two holder midfielders, with Schade, Damsgaard and Anthony as the attacking midfield three playing behind Igor Thiago. It's a 2 p.m. kickoff, Leeds United against Brentford. Two unbeaten sides meet at Ellen Road this afternoon as Leeds United take on Brentford, and for the home side it is Trafford in goal with a back three of Rodon, Bio and Mukharamovic. Then it's four across the middle, Bogle, Ampadu, Stack and Justin, with Arison and Okafor supporting Calvert-Lewin up front. For Brentford it is Kelleher in goal with a back four of Coyote, Ayer, Collins and Lewis Potter. Sangare and Janelt are the two holder midfielders, with Schade, Damsgaard and Anthony as the attacking midfield three playing behind Igor Thiago. It's a 2 p.m. kickoff, Leeds United against Brentford. Two unbeaten sides meet at Ellen Road this afternoon as Leeds United take on Brentford, and for the home side it is Trafford in goal with a back three of Rodon, Bio and Mukharamovic. Then it's four across the middle, Bogle, Ampadu, Stack and Justin, with Arison and Okafor supporting Calvert-Lewin up front. For Brentford it is Kelleher in goal with a back four of Coyote, Ayer, Collins and Lewis Potter. Sangare and Janelt are the two holder midfielders, with Schade, Damsgaard and Anthony as the attacking midfield three playing behind Igor Thiago. It's a 2 p.m. kickoff, Leeds United against Brentford. Two unbeaten sides meet at Ellen Road this afternoon as Leeds United take on Brentford, and for the home side it is Trafford in goal with a back three of Rodon, Bio and Mukharamovic. Then it's four across the middle, Bogle, Ampadu, Stack and Justin, with Arison and Okafor supporting Calvert-Lewin up front. For Brentford it is Kelleher in goal with a back four of Coyote, Ayer, Collins and Lewis Potter. Sangare and Janelt are the two holder midfielders, with Schade, Damsgaard and Anthony as the attacking midfield three playing behind Igor Thiago. It's a 2 p.m. kickoff, Leeds United against Brentford. Two unbeaten sides meet at Ellen Road this afternoon as Leeds United take on Brentford, and for the home side it is Trafford in goal with a back three of Rodon, Bio and Mukharamovic. Then it's four across the middle, Bogle, Ampadu, Stack and Justin, with Arison and Okafor supporting Calvert-Lewin up front. For Brentford it is Kelleher in goal with a back four of Coyote, Ayer, Collins and Lewis Potter. Sangare and Janelt are the two holder midfielders, with Schade, Damsgaard and Anthony as the attacking midfield three playing behind Igor Thiago. It's a 2 p.m. kickoff, Leeds United against Brentford. Two unbeaten sides meet at Ellen Road this afternoon as Leeds United take on Brentford, and for the home side it is Trafford in goal with a back three of Rodon, Bio and Mukharamovic. Then it's four across the middle, Bogle, Ampadu, Stack and Justin, with Arison and Okafor supporting Calvert-Lewin up front. For Brentford it is Kelleher in goal with a back four of Coyote, Ayer, Collins and Lewis Potter. Sangare and Janelt are the two holder midfielders, with Schade, Damsgaard and Anthony as the attacking midfield three playing behind Igor Thiago. It's a 2 p.m. kickoff, Leeds United against Brentford. Two unbeaten sides meet at Ellen Road this afternoon as Leeds United take on Brentford, and for the home side it is Trafford in goal with a back three of Rodon, Bio and Mukharamovic. Then it's four across the middle, Bogle, Ampadu, Stack and Justin, with Arison and Okafor supporting Calvert-Lewin up front. For Brentford it is Kelleher in goal with a back four of Coyote, Ayer, Collins and Lewis Potter. Sangare and Janelt are the two holder midfielders, with Schade, Damsgaard and Anthony as the attacking midfield three playing behind Igor Thiago. It's a 2 p.m. kickoff, Leeds United against Brentford. Two unbeaten sides meet at Ellen Road this afternoon as Leeds United take on Brentford, and for the home side it is Trafford in goal with a back three of Rodon, Bio and Mukharamovic. Then it's four across the middle, Bogle, Ampadu, Stack and Justin, with Arison and Okafor supporting Calvert-Lewin up front. For Brentford it is Kelleher in goal with a back four of Coyote, Ayer, Collins and Lewis Potter. Sangare and Janelt are the two holder midfielders, with Schade, Damsgaard and Anthony as the attacking midfield three playing behind Igor Thiago. It's a 2 p.m. kickoff, Leeds United against Brentford. Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining us on this independent off-tube studio commentary. The game at Ellen Road has just got underway. Leeds United taking on Brentford, two sides with 100% records, including, of course, the midweek win in the Cup. Leeds beating Nottingham Forest twice on the road by a goal to nil in the league and in the Carabao Cup. Brentford overcoming Spurs before hammering Birmingham City, and the Bees are on the attack inside the first 30 seconds. A ball at the edge of the area gets to Damsgaard. Damsgaard tries to cut it into Sharda. Sharda inside the 6-yard box, couldn't quite get that ball to turn as he was trying to go for goal, and then it's Igor Thiago's effort which is eventually deflected out for a goal kick. But a bright start here from the visitors. They're trying to set a marker down early. It's myself, Paul Shabakovic and Eric Stanyas taking it to the action. Eric, two sides that have started the season well. Yeah, two sides started really well, and two sides with not too many signings, but it looked like they're key signings. The signings they've got for Sangare in midfield for Brentford. I think he's just a phenomenal signing. But yeah, great chance for the child today. Just twisted his body and got ahead of the Beale there. He could have just had a free hit on goal, but I'm just going to say that Brentford are coming on the counter, but he called it down for a free kick against Calvert-Lewin instead. Calvert-Lewin's not happy that he's given away the free kick at all. He felt as though he was just jumping for the ball, and it was actually the Brentford player falling that caused the issue. But the referee does give the free kick the way of Brentford. They take it quickly, they take it long. It's not going to be kept in play by Coyote on the right-hand side off that long diagonal ball. Tony Harrington, by the way, is our referee. The 2-11s this afternoon: James Trafford in goal for Leeds, a back three of Joe Rodon, Jacobillo and Tarek Muharramovic. Then it's four across the middle: Jaden Bogle, Anton Stack, Ethan Ampadu and James Justin, with Brendan Aronson and Noah Okafor supporting Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. For Brentford, it is Quentin Kelleher in goal, then a back four of Michael Coyote, Christopher Ayer, Nathan Collins and Keane Lewis Potter. Mamadou Sangare and Vitaly Yano are the two holding midfielders, with Kevin Sharda, Mikkel Damsgaard and Jaden Anthony playing behind Igor Thiago. Brentford on the attack down the right-hand side. A cross from Damsgaard is cleared into midfield. Then it's Sangare's ball into the box, which is blocked. Headed forward, though, by Ayer, but that's going to be blocked off by Stack, and there should be a free kick there for Leeds. I think the referee is going to give an advantage because Bogle can keep the ball alive here down the right-hand side. He tries a ball down the channel. It's a really good ball as well. But that is an excellent challenge, keeping that ball away from the penalty area there from Nathan Collins. And then Sharda just rolling that ball back towards Keane Lewis Potter, who tries that diagonal ball again, searching for the run of Anthony, but that's going to go straight out for a throw to Leeds. You mentioned Brentford signing Sangare. I think Trafford as a signing for Leeds is a really good signing as well.
Absolutely, it's key signings for Leeds. Goalkeeper since the young Frenchman, I can't remember the name. Melier, of course. He was going to be the goalkeeper for the next 10-15 years, but it didn't really work out. But yeah, I liked his interview after the first game as well, just like really laid back, and yeah, good signing and a big signing for a goalkeeper, almost £40 million.
It is. It's a lot of money, but then I suppose, I mean, he was at one point last season tipped to be the first choice keeper for Manchester City. It's only that they signed Donnarumma a couple of weeks after they signed him. It may well be that privately City were always going to get Donnarumma anyway, but now a good bit of work there from Lewis Potter, robbing Aronson of the ball. Brentford certainly look a little bit brighter in these first couple of minutes. Here is Lewis Potter now trying a very elaborate pass with the outside of the boot, but that's going to get nowhere near Jaden Anthony. That's going to go straight through towards Trafford. This is one of three games on our service right now in the Premier League. Chelsea, Brighton and Sunderland, Fulham are the other games. There's also a game in League One where it's AFC Wimbledon 0, Wigan 0. And still to come at 4:30 this afternoon, Manchester United at home to Ipswich Town. We'll see how that one goes. And there's also a Premier League game to wrap up this round of fixtures on Bank Holiday Monday. Aston Villa v Arsenal. That's going to be a big test for Aston Villa with the wholesale sales that they've had. By the way, just a quick goal to tell you about already in the Premier League. Chelsea have taken an early lead against Brighton. We'll confirm the goal scorer for you in just a moment. It's already 1-0 to Chelsea there as the ball goes out for a throw. Brentford in their change, sort of charcoal grey, dark sort of grey kit, almost bordering on black really, with a pinstripe. Leeds, as always, of course, in all white at home, as the ball from Lewis Potter back to Damsgaard, then Lewis Potter again trying a long ball. This seems to be a theme early on here for Brentford, but only one of them has been successful so far.
Yes, that diagonal ball towards Anthony on the right-hand side, also a new signing. That was a bit more surprising for me that they signed him, but now Leeds can come
great
forward.
Great work there from Okafor. He just skips past Ayer. The ball into the box is played across there by Bogle. It was the right idea. Important challenge there inside the penalty area from Sangare. Then Sharda gets his body in the way, and Sangare trying to bring the ball away away here for Brentford. He does really well to stay on his feet. Eventually, just the sheer number of Leeds players do take the ball off him, and Leeds keep it alive here now. Down the left-hand side, going towards James Justin. He's trying to work his way into the penalty area. Just again, too many bodies in the way, and now Brentford on the counter here as Damsgaard finding Sangare, who then quickly spreads the play out towards the right-hand side here for Igor Thiago, heading towards the penalty area, or the ball into Schade. It was always a very low percentage ball, I thought, because it was a diagonal ball at height, trying to play into Schade, and in the end it just goes over his head. Yeah, it's, I think, I'm not sure if it's the right decision from Thiago to actually get across into the box. He's on his own against two defenders there, Schade. But what an end-to-end start of the game. It's great entertainment so far. And looking at Brentford winning the ball, and on the right-hand side, they are trying to just go forward as soon as they can and hit Leeds by surprise. Even in established play, they try the long ball over the top, and makes it very entertaining for the neutrals. It certainly does. As I say, two sides that have made it a positive start this season. Two sides who were looking to build on what was already a good season last time out. And Leeds, of course, now having made a bit of a sticky start to their return to the Premier League last season, certainly made a very good end to the season. Brentford, interesting enough, actually finished in their lowest position that they'd had for something like 4 or 5 months. It just tailed off a little bit towards the end of the campaign. It's very positive for the new season. Long throw here, looking for Calvert-Lewin. Ball bouncing through Stack, then trying to play that down the channel for Okafor. It's cleared back into midfield. Aronson fighting for it, but Janelt gets his body in the way, does really well. And Brentford now have it here with Collins into Sangare down the right-hand side. Anthony had a chance to go forward, but he prefers to just play it back towards Coyote. 6.5 minutes on the clock. It is the visitors that are making the better impression so far, but that's only in terms of possession. They haven't really been able to do much in terms of actually keeping the ball in that final third. Romeo Lavia, by the way, forgotten man at Chelsea, he's actually given them the lead.
Oh, yeah, that's I wasn't aware that they would. That's a surprise start for me. If it was going to predict the starting line for Chelsea, I wouldn't have put him in.
No, but then Chelsea do have around 45 professionals in their squad, so there's always going to be a few players that you suddenly, oh, he was on loan there, oh, then suddenly he's actually back at Chelsea now. But yeah, Lavia with the goal there for Chelsea. Brentford on the attack down the left here. Schade playing a ball in towards King Lewis Potter, and then a ball played back towards Trafford, and it was a quick closing down there. Rodon trying to close it down. In the end, the final touch does come off a Brentford man, but it was Schade down the left-hand side. Lewis Potter was never going to get there first, but Igor Thiago spotted a chance and he nearly profited.
Yeah, Igor Thiago, he reads that pass back, and it's so close to actually getting a free pass, a free goal there. Very good play by Igor Thiago, just anticipating that pass back. And Brentford intensity is completely out-muscling Leeds at the moment, in the 50-50s, and by far the better side, and it's a very bright start from the wayside.
It is, with Sangare now finding Lewis Potter. He puts a left-footed ball into the box. It's headed away by Muharamovic. Second chance there potentially. It's Anthony on the angle, goes for goal. It's batted away by Trafford and then hooked up in the air by Muharamovic. That's not the best clearance from the new signing there. Bouncing ball inside this penalty area before Stack gets his head to it. It's out wide towards the right-hand side again, where Anthony tries to play that ball into space. Eventually it's cleared out for a throw by James Justin, but Leeds under pressure here.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, it's panic stations in the middle there. Anthony getting the ball on the volley, tight angle on the right-hand side. It probably would have been even better if you just put it across the 6-yard box instead of straight at the goalkeeper, because there was bodies there to deflect the ball into the back of the net, and it could have been dangerous. But it's a long throw now, it looks like, for Brentford.
Yeah, and it's going to be Michael Coyote, the long throw specialist, and he does launch this one in towards the 6-yard box. It's headed up in the air, comes off the Leeds head, but it's going to be kept alive here by Sangare for Brentford. Back into midfield. It's with Lewis Potter, who goes for goal from 40, well, not 40, certainly 35 yards. It deflects off the side of the head of Joe Rodon. Looks like he's going to be okay. It's a little bit dazed, but it's going to be a corner.
It's a corner, and yeah, it's a long way out for Lewis Potter, but it's so many players in front of the goalkeeper. So if that whistled through towards goal, Trafford can only see it from about 10 yards out.
Yeah, he may well have been unsighted there, the goalkeeper, had it been on target. I think it was heading on target, let's say Rodon with a good block. It's going to be an in-swinging corner from Mikkel Damsgaard towards the back post. It's nodded clear. In fact, it's nodded a long way out from the penalty area. Kept alive here by Lewis Potter, the last man back for Brentford. It's back towards Damsgaard. His ball into the box, and it's a header towards goal. It's Christopher Ajer, the Norwegian international, but his header is straight at Trafford, and now Trafford bowls it out quickly, and Leeds want to get on the attack as quickly as they can, with Okafor switching play out towards the right-hand side. Aronson can't take it on the run, but he has got enough space and enough time just to bring that ball under control on the right-hand side of the penalty area. It's a cross coming in from Jayden Bogle, but wasn't a particularly good cross because it was always too close to Kelleher, and there weren't actually that many people to aim for in the box anyway.
No, because that attack was straight from the goalkeeper after the cross, and yeah, straight in attack. Leeds like Brentford, want to just hit the opposition on the break. But yeah, it's been an absolute electric start to this game. Maybe a bit of lack of quality in the final part so far. Leeds there for that attack, because it was so quick. It was only Harrison. It was completely on his own against a couple of defenders. So it's ended up in nothing. But a bit of warning sign for Brentford at just that. But we're caught napping after quite a long attack.
Absolutely. Well, it's always been a feature of Brentford that they do commit sometimes too many players forward when they have set pieces, and it's cost them on a number of goals over the years. But it's obviously they're not the only side. We saw it in the Coventry game yesterday, where they sent everybody forward, and it allowed Miller to basically have half the pitch to run on. And now Brentford with another attack. It's a through ball here from and it could be a foul there. There's still a chance here potentially for Anthony, and Anthony goes for goal. It takes a deflection and it goes wide. It's going to be a corner. Not sure whether the referee was going to give a free kick for the challenge on Sharda, but he played the advantage and Brentford have a corner kick.
Yeah, he played the advantage, and I think it's probably not a red card. Oh, it could easily, but that is a red card if he gets it, because he's free on goal. Yeah, so
now with that, would VAR look at it, or would they say it's next passage of play now and it's too late? I'm just going to say, he actually gets a little bit of the ball, does he?
I think that he'll get away with that, because he got a little bit of the ball, and there's not much protestation from Brentford either. So
they were quite happy for the advantage, and they're quite happy now to have the set piece as well. It's an in-swinger. No, it's not. It's a short corner this time from Damsgaard. Plays it into Janelt, then it's back to Damsgaard, takes a touch, and then he puts the ball into the box, headed up in the air by Okafor. Second ball for Brentford potentially. Janelt gets this, and it was attempted a bit of control there from Coyote, I was trying to say, but actually the referee has stopped play. Brentford's right back had a raised boot as far as Tony Harrington was concerned, so that will be a free kick to Leeds. 12 minutes on the clock, and the home side are really having to work very hard at the moment.
Yeah, Brentford are brilliant in recycling the ball after clearances from Leeds. Leeds are basically panicking in defence at the moment. The crosses into the box have been decent from Brentford, a couple of decent clearances for Leeds. So just need to calm things down a bit and to get the team going, because Brentford, they are basically they have done the homework against this Leeds team, and the intensity at the moment is causing all sorts of problems for Leeds.
It certainly is. I mean, Brentford were very intense against Spurs. Brentford were also intense against Birmingham City, albeit Birmingham City pretty much gave up in that Carabao Cup game in midweek. But against this Leeds side, there is an offside, as Calvert-Lewin's unhappy. He wanted that ball a little bit earlier, did Leeds' number 9. But by the time he got it, he was already in an offside position. So a free kick to Brentford then deep inside their own half. Lewis Potter rolling this one back towards Collins. Interesting that Jensen's been dropped today in favour of Damsgaard, so it's almost like they've taken out a central midfielder and replaced him with a number 10. So Keith Andrews obviously feels he can afford to have that bit more of attacking possession today.
Yeah, Damsgaard is a bit more attacking, a bit more creative in the final third, and Damsgaard in his early stage he played as a winger as well, so he's a decent footballer, Mikael Damsgaard. Everyone remembers his goal at Wembley for Denmark against England.
Absolutely, and then he had that really good spell in Italy just after that. Then he came to Brentford, in his first season he barely made an impact at all. Since then he has become a far more established player at the G-Tech. So you mentioned he was a winger, probably just a little bit of that pace now, but he's certainly very useful in that central role. And here come Brentford again now, with Sangare finding space here for Keane Lewis Potter into the penalty area. Here is Damsgaard, he's trying to work his way into the box, and he goes for goal as well. Didn't look like there was enough space for the shot. He just about turned though when he got a shot, but it was straight at Trafford.
It's great play, and maybe exactly why he's in the team now. The way he just twists and turns away from Aronson. Free shot from 10-11 yards out. The angle is not in his favour, straight to the goalkeeper. It did drop it initially at Trafford, but no one had to rebound. But great play by Brentford again, and we need the ball back in midfield now. Now it's Sharda in their own half, and Leeds, I think they're a bit surprised that of this. I don't think they've expected this from Brentford.
No, they weren't, but then at the same time Brentford can't be too confident with this, because it only takes one bit of loose possession and that could tell you. I can't tell you that Pedro Neto has doubled Chelsea's lead. They're 2-0 up against Brighton now on 15 minutes. Brentford going from right to left, but that ball to Kevin Sharda won't reach its intended target, as Sharda just slipped at the crucial moment. Ball goes behind his back and it's out for a throw to Leeds here on the right hand side. Joe Rodon coming across to take this one. Just looking at the next fixtures for these two sides. Leeds play against Brighton next weekend in a 3 o'clock kickoff next Saturday, whereas Brentford's next game will be at home to Sunderland next Saturday as well. Leeds have also got a game against Chelsea in the EFL Cup to come on the 9th of September. I think Brentford's next EFL Cup game is a week later. They play Reading on the 15th.
Yeah, they play those the next round in stages in the two midweeks in a row. Yes. Yeah, but looking at that fixture list, it's a great opportunity for both these sides to possibly start with 3 wins if they win it.
Yes.
To be honest, it's so. I see Liverpool might be struggling for top 4 today. That's the way I look at it. That and not hit the ground running. And any team with a good run of results could challenge for at least. It probably will be top 5 again for Champions League. So.
Yeah, I think both. But say it is really a case of just trying to get as good a start as possible. When you think of all the big teams that have struggled to maintain that kind of consistency over a season. But we'll just see this again. Brentford have won themselves a free kick. It's a bit of a late challenge there, a bit of a trip from Ampadu on Sharda. It's quite a long way out from goal, but certainly close enough here for Brentford to think about getting a ball into the penalty area. It's 2 standing over it right now. It's Damsgaard and Janel. And possession stats so far, 35% for Leeds, 65 for Brentford. 1 effort from Leeds to Brentford 6. The visitors have made a very bright start as Damsgaard plays that ball square to Lewis Potter. He then puts a cross in to the penalty area. It's easily headed clear by Bogle, but the ball is kept alive here by Coyote for Brentford on the right-hand side. Lewis Potter, though, forced to go a long way back, all the way towards Kelleher, who's wandered a long way out from his goal. He then finds Janel towards Damsgaard on the left-hand side. Square now to Sharda. He does well. He's been brought down, and that's going to be another free kick to Brentford. And I think the referee is telling Joe Rodon that's going to be your last one. Yeah,
I think I almost would have given a yellow card on that one because fantastic first touch from Sharda. He reads the situation and Rodon just clips him down, and he's in very good position outside the box there. And for me, I
think that probably is a yellow card. Yeah, I initially thought he was just sliding in. He was a bit late, but there's a little bit of a sweep of the foot there as well, isn't it?
It's a sweep of the foot, and it's nowhere near the ball. And probably good for the game that it's not a yellow card, but another free kick, this time 10 yards, just straight out from the corner of the penalty area on the left-hand side.
Absolutely. I mean, I think, as I say, there does seem to be a theme across refereeing. It wasn't. People think it was the World Cup. It was before the World Cup already. Referees all were told to be a bit more lenient, but during the World Cup, we really noticed that games that we're used to seeing with UEFA referees, they were just letting a lot of stuff go, which is certainly no bad thing as long as they do it within reason. It's Janel's ball into the box. It's an easy header clear, though. Wasn't the best cross from the German. They're just a little bit too low, but it is out for a throw, level with the edge of the area, so this may result in Michael Coyote coming over towards the left-hand side to take the throw. Of course, long throws are excluded from the new 8-second rule in terms of taking a throw on quickly. We have seen a couple of players already being forced to stay off the field if they can't go off quickly enough, with the 10-second rule when a sub's been announced. The cross coming in then from the right-hand side is aimed at Anthony, trying to get that ball across the penalty area. Eventually it just goes out. So after all of that, bringing Coyote over towards the left, he ends up taking a short throw back to Lewis Potter. It's his ball into the box, and it's just a little bit too far away from Jaden Anthony.
Yeah, to be honest, it's a decent actually shooting opportunity from at the far post. It's a free shot. It just miscued it and completely mistimed the hit on the ball. But again, I'm looking at the Leeds defence now. The clearances go straight out for a throw-in or straight to a Brentford player. It's like quite relentless, the pressure against Leeds now. They can't get any play at all in midfield, and almost like Brentford need to capitalise on this.
Well, they do. I do think that if Brentford don't score a goal in this sort of spell, if it gets to say half an hour and the game's still going the same way and Brentford haven't scored, then potentially there might be a little bit of doubt creeping into the visitors as well. And we know that Leeds, of course, have got plenty of attacking threat in their team as well. Just they haven't been able to show it at all in this game. It's out for a throw to Brentford, which I think has frustrated a couple of the home fans and indeed the players there, as it's been given as a throw to the Bees. Coyote now waiting to take it. It's about 10 yards away from the halfway line, still in Brentford territory. Coyote's throw in towards Igor Tiago does well to turn away from Muhamarovic, but he can't keep possession, and the ball is rolled back towards Joe Rodon with Bogle. Closed down here by Lewis Potter. Bogle trying a ball over the top, looking for Calvert-Lewin, who was being held there by Nathan Collins, despite the Brentford captain not pretending he doesn't understand what that was for. And it will be a free kick to Leeds, a tiny little bit of respite here for the home side. Brentford still playing a high offside line, so there's no option really for a long diagonal baller. It's a short free kick between Aronson and Ampadu. Back now towards Biol. It's being closed down. He plays that ball forward. It's cut out though by Coyote, but it gets away from Coyote. So still half a chance here for Okafor down the left-hand side. He gets to the edge of the area. He's got 4 to aim for in the box if he can try and get a cross in. Rodon's even got himself forward. Cross coming in then from the left-hand side. Good header away by Collins. Kept alive in midfield here by Ampadu. Headed back towards the box by Stack. Brentford are appealing an offside. And in the end, I think has the flag gone up? Well, it's a strike from Ampadu, but it seemed like half the players had stopped by then already, so it may well be that there was a delayed offside.
I think the flag must have gone up because it was like a frustration shot from Ampadu from a long range. So I think obviously everyone, I think it was offside, and it was
the referee had stopped as well.
Yeah, the referee stopped the game. Yeah, but Brentford did well on defending the early cross from the corner flag, and instead they had to play it back towards Biol, and his cross into the box from basically 30-40 yards, so it was easily dealt with. So well defended by Coyote and Sangara, so like teaming up against Okafor. Yeah,
they did absolutely, and so say Brentford haven't been tested too much in defence yet, but that was the first time where they really had to be a little bit more organised. Nice feet there from Damsgaard just to keep Brentford in possession as they try and push forward again down the left-hand side, being forced back towards the halfway line though, hit by Ampadu, and Damsgaard playing it towards Aya. Down the right-hand side, he then finds Michael Coyote. Again, Leeds are just starting to flood the middle of the park a little bit more. Brentford aren't quite finding it as easy as they were a few minutes ago just to try and keep that attacking possession. Sangare then playing a ball into Sharda. Sharda finding Yano, and then Brentford doing really well to spread the play down the left here for Lewis Potter in towards Igor Thiago, just at the edge of the area. No option to get across in, so it goes back towards Lewis Potter. And then it's Damsgaard who's gone on the run this time. He's not offside. He's got to try and get that ball in. It's Igor Thiago with the attempted cross, which is charged down by Ampadu, and it's out for a throw to Brentford.
It's a shame from a Brentford point of view that it actually ended up with nothing. But that was a beautiful attack. But actually, I'm not sure if they invited Leeds a bit further up the pitch, but they played through the press very easily, and it was like 3 against 2 on the left-hand side. Only ended up with a throw-in now, which I assume Coyote will take.
Coyote, well, he came across to take the last long throw, and he ended up just playing it 5 yards to a teammate. So this time it does look like he's limbering up for a full long throw, and it is. It's into the 6-yard box. It comes off the Leeds head. It's looping just on the line. Brentford wanted to go out for a corner kick, and doing his best there is Nathan Collins to marshal it. It doesn't go out for a corner, but then Coyote wins it back as he's pushing towards the edge of the area. He gets brought down, and that will be a free kick to Brentford right in the edge of the area. Yeah, it's an incredibly poorly defended by Leeds United there. First, they tried to shield the ball out, and then Bogle wins the ball, and then conceding possession again, and a free kick is dragged down, and it could easily be a yellow card as well. That is a proper tug on the shirt, tug on the... Yeah, it was like a little hug from behind. Well, as I say, I mean, Tony Harrington's still spending quite a long time speaking to Jayden Bogle. Bogle's trying to argue his case. I don't think that the yellow card has been produced in the end, but I think there was probably an argument to say that there could have been. So it's a free kick to Brentford then at the edge of the Leeds United penalty area here on the left-hand side. It's the usual right foot and left foot candidates, Damsgaard and Yano respectively, discussing amongst themselves what they want to do with this free kick. It's pretty much level with the edge of the 6-yard box. That's how close it is to the byline. So it certainly gives Brentford a few options in terms of what they want to do. There's a cluster of players inside the 6-yard box. There's a couple waiting at the edge of the area as well. And is it going to be? No, it's going to be the right foot of Damsgaard, and he goes for goal with it almost. It's cleared towards the edge of the area, drops to Sangare, who then puts his foot through it, but he gets charged down, and now a chance for Leeds to go on the counter, but Aronson gets blocked by Sharda almost immediately. Brentford recycle it quickly here with Anthony now down the right-hand side. There's an overlap to Coyote. Coyote then gets to the line. He tries to put that cross in. He gets the final touch. Couldn't get the corner kick on this occasion. Out for a goal kick to Leeds, but 24 minutes on the clock. It is goalless, and right now it's the home side that will be very pleased that it still is goalless. Yeah, it's a fantastic block, but Bogle from the shot from Sangare after the initial shot come cross from Damsgaard was headed out, and that shot is on target, and it's a great block from Bogle. But then again, and then they win the second ball like they have done all game, Brentford. And from a Leeds point of view, it's been a very poor half. The only positive for Leeds is that it's still 0-0, and they haven't Trafford haven't really been
tested properly.
No, I think that's very fair. That Brentford have made the better impression in terms of their attacking possession, but clear-cut chances still have been at a premium for the visitors so far. And as I say, there was always that threat from Leeds with the pace that they've got out wide, particularly with Okafor. And there's always a goal in Calvert-Lewin. But Brentford now have possession here in midfield with Sangare. His pass towards Janelt was just a little bit under hit, and that allows Stack to play a ball down that left channel, and it will be chased here by Okafor. He gets there before Coyote. Okafor then trying to play it square, but a combination of Coyote and Anthony just covering for Brentford on that right-hand side. Played back into the middle where Ampadu chests the ball back towards Jacobillo. And Leeds just trying to inject a little bit more pace, a little bit more possession into what they're doing, because they haven't really looked like the home side so far in these first 25 minutes. Played back towards Rodon, and then a ball down the right channel for Bogle, but that one is at least 10, if not 15 yards away. Ampadu there trying to explain what he wanted to do, but the pass just wasn't right.
Well, yeah, it's he tried to dink it over the top, but instead it was like a long range pass. That goes out for a goal kick. Look at Leeds on the right hand side. They're not done anything. But Okafor on the left, a couple of times he's gone there one-on-one with Coyote, and Anthony and Sangare has been sort of the second defender there, but ended up with no crosses into the box from a real position. So so far it's been very good from Brentford. Now they tried again and tried to get Okafor in the play. It's a good pass.
It is a good pass, yeah. Okafor keeps it in play, works his way into the penalty area, but then the cross is completely overhit. It's almost like he didn't look to see where his teammates were. It was almost like an instinct of, oh, I'm just going to put the ball into the box, and you can see a more and more frustrated expression on the face of Daniel Farke now.
But that actually is the best attack from Leeds. That crossfield ball on the right to left, and Okafor, even from this time, he actually was in a good position. It's just a very, very poorly executed cross. So yeah, Daniel Farke, you can see what he thought about that.
Yeah, he's not happy. He'll be very relieved to see that free kick go the way of Leeds, though, as Anthony just colliding there with Tarik Muharamovic. So that will be a free kick. It might even be he has been given us a free kick to Leeds on their left-hand side, still inside Leeds territory. And Muharamovic himself waiting to take this one. Just a quick glance at the other scores. No change. Chelsea still leading early by 2-0 against Brighton. It's goalless here at Ellen Road. It's also goalless at the Stadium of Light between Sunderland and Fulham. Just to tell you as well, if you missed it earlier today in the Scottish Premiership, we finished Aberdeen 0, Rangers 1. We've still got Dundee FC against Hibernian and St Mirren against Motherwell to come at 3 o'clock this afternoon. As the ball goes out of play, it wasn't kept in there by Bogle. He actually did his best there up against Lewis Potter. I think he may have been brought down by Lewis Potter.
I think it's actually a free kick for Leeds in a
decent
position. Yeah. And yeah, he just ran into it and he stopped this run. Soft free kick, but probably correct free kick. And this time, this is actually the best opportunity Leeds have had all game. With a free kick about 30 yards from goal, out on the right-hand side. Looks like Stack's going to take it.
He is, yeah, and he's got an excellent delivery on him. It's not in range for him to shoot, which is just as well for Brentford because he's got an excellent direct free kick as well. But the ball coming into the 6-yard box, it takes a nick off one of the Brentford players, and then it's quickly played out by Sharda, and it's Jaden Anthony now as Brentford try and go on a counter-attack. Leeds are streaming back in numbers, but Anthony's still holding the ball here. He plays one down the right channel here for Sharda. Sharda's ball into the box. Oh, it was just in front of Igor Thiago. There was also a chance that maybe Jaden Anthony could have got onto the end of it on the left-hand side as Brentford look, but it's a great covering challenge, and it goes out for a corner kick, and it's actually backtracking Anton Stack that puts it out.
It's Stack that puts it out, but what a fantastic counter-attack for Brentford, playing basically straight line just forward, and I think if Stack doesn't get that, goalkeeper won't get it because Stack's there, and there it would have been a tap-in, but corner kick for Brentford, who actually produced a better chance from that free kick than Leeds did with their chance.
That's right, yeah, Leeds just got a ball into the box. Brentford on the counter straight away once they were able to clear, and it's going to be an in-swinging corner here from Vitaly Janelt. It's very flat towards the near post, easily headed away by Calvert-Lewin. Out for a throw to Brentford then on the right-hand side, level with the edge of the area, and they're not waiting for Coyote this time. Janelt takes the throw quickly to Damsgaard. Back to Vitaly Janelt. He then plays it into Coyote. What can he do with his feet this time, Coyote? He's under a lot of pressure there from Stack. Tries to turn away. The ball deflects off Stack, but it's still kept alive for Brentford by Damsgaard. Back towards Lewis Potter, trying a deep cross, headed clear by Bogle. It drops 25 yards out here for Anthony. Anthony feints to shoot, but he does it too close to Brandon Aronson, who was then brought down as he tried to turn. And we got our first booking of the afternoon. Aronson was being held just as he tried to turn, and so that will be a yellow card. I don't think it's for Jayden Anthony though. I think he was the one who lost the ball. We'll just see from the replay whether it was, actually no, it was Anthony himself. I thought it might have been Yano who just got across, but it is Jayden Anthony. He picks up a yellow card.
Yeah, it did like the turn to get a shot, but it was read well by Leeds, and I think because it's a shirt pull and it's an outstretched shirt, that's why he was given the yellow card. I don't think it was much worse than the tackles for Leeds players against the Brentford. Rode another couple earlier on, but yellow card for Anthony.
Yeah, yellow card for Anthony, and Brentford now trying to win the ball back here in midfield, and they have done so. Janelt stepping in just as the ball was trying to get, they were trying to play it through towards Bogle. It's then hooked up in the air, played towards the Brentford penalty area, but Collins is there. Bit of a heavy touch though from Kevin Schade, and that gives possession back to Leeds, but they've been forced to go a long way back now with Jakobio and Muhramovic being closed down, going all the way back now towards James Trafford. Just waiting here. He's been closed down by Igor Thiago, but he still has time to get that pass in towards Ampadu. It's with Bio, a long ball over the top here, but it is just a hopeful ball. It will bounce towards the edge of the Brentford penalty area where Kelleher makes sure that he gets there first before Calvert-Lewin. So actually, yeah, as you made the point earlier that for all the impressive counter-attacking and possession from Brentford, Trafford's not really had to do too much.
I think it's one save from Damsgaard, which was straight at the goalkeeper from a tight angle. I think that's it from Trafford. But Brentford have had enough play up front, and if the right passes come, they can. And again, they played it through the midfield and now out right inside to Anthony again. Yeah,
Anthony and Coyote pushing forward down the right-hand side, and it's now played back towards Sangare. Here is Damsgaard waiting at the edge of the area on the left-hand side. He's got 4 to aim for in the box. He's muscled off the ball though by Aronson. He's not going to get a free kick for that. And now the US international can try and go through the gears and put Leeds onto a counter-attack. He plays the ball down the right channel for Calvert-Lewin, but he's completely isolated. He does really well actually, Calvert-Lewin, to hold the ball up and play it back into midfield, where it's kept alive now by Ampadu. He goes down towards the left-hand side for Okafor. He takes on Coyote. He gets the ball in as well. It's a good header away by Aya. Second ball there for Jayden Anthony, and he plays it away for Brentford. And suddenly it's a counter-attack because Igor Thiago is over the halfway line, but he is completely isolated. Plays one into the channel down the right for Kevin Schade, where Rodon gets there first, and he might have had a hamstring problem there, Rodon, as he puts that ball out. I'll tell you who has got a problem though. It's Brighton, because they are now 3-0 down away to Chelsea, and it's only 33 minutes gone, and it was only a matter of time before their former striker scores against them, João Pedro.
Well, who hasn't got a former Brighton striker in the ranks?
Well, but Chelsea especially.
Yes,
I mean, if we're going to pick a single team that might have more Brighton former players than anyone else, it is going to be Chelsea. So they're 3-0 up against Fabian Hurtzler's side.
So that was Chelsea top of the league at the moment on goal difference.
Yes.
So, which obviously both, especially Brentford with 3-0, it's the bragging rights of being top of the league any time of the season, especially for teams like Leeds.
Absolutely.
And Brentford.
Well, Hull would have been very happy yesterday, of course, being top of the league for a few hours at least. But
stop the count and all that.
Yes, absolutely. Who would have thought that after 2 games Hull would be top of the league with 2 clean sheets as well? So excellent start for them. And I've done commentary of both of their games. Oh, no, I didn't do commentary of the Manchester United, but I did watch it. I did commentary of the game yesterday, and there were value for it. Coventry were a bit disappointing, but Hull stuck to their task and actually could have scored twice in the second half. Meanwhile, we're allowing ourselves to talk about other things because no play here at Ellen Road. Joe Rodon's still down on the ground.
I think it will be substituted, but that looks like a hamstring, and you don't actually come back from a hamstring injury, and it looks like it's going to be a substitution straight away.
Is this Gudmundsson getting ready to
it looks like it's Gudmundsson, the Swedish international. So that's slightly that'll be a slightly tactical tweak. So he's more of a wing back than a centre half. So
absolutely, yes. So whether or not they're going
to Ampadu could be
Ampadu
could play in the
Justin potentially could as well. And then I think
I think Justin probably more.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, because they want to keep Bogle running on that right-hand side. But confirmation then the Welsh international Joe Rodon cannot continue. He has got a hamstring problem, and it's not actually Gudmundsson at all. As another player that we saw there from a distance, they've got a similar hairstyle, but it is actually going to be Nico Elvedi. So that makes more sense because that is a like for like. So as I say. Wanted to be sure as Brentford now take the resulting free kick. The ball into the penalty area is quickly cleared, and they keep it alive here on the left-hand side. Sangare's ball to the edge of the box is just a little bit under hit. No one in a black Brentford away kit able to get close enough to it. It's cleared up to the halfway line where Kelleher comes out. He's had virtually no work to do so far, the Brentford goalkeeper. It's with Lewis Potter to Anthony, to Lewis Potter, away from goal here, but Brentford still maintaining the majority of possession. Sangare now in towards Damsgaard. Sangare again, square to Collins. Options here left and right for Nathan Collins. Still no way to get this ball into the penalty area. Leeds back in numbers. Brentford trying to move that ball around in midfield, but they're just not finding those gaps that they were earlier in the first half. They're going to regret maybe not pressing Leeds that little bit more when they really had the home side on the ropes inside the first 10-15 minutes. Brighton have a goal back. It looks like they've got all the goal credits at Stamford Bridge this afternoon. The other two games in the Premier League still goalless, but Brentford trying to change that here now with a ball down the right-hand side. Coyote will chase it, but Muharamovic is always going to be favoured to see that one out, and it's out for a goal kick. Yeah,
it's a lot of Leeds are sitting really, really deep, but they're more compact. They're more in position now, and it's not so much. The Brentford play is decent, but it's more sideways, and I think from Leeds' point of view, if you just hang on till half time and don't concede too much space like they have done earlier, then they'll probably be pleased with 0-0, and we all know a half-time team talk can change.
Absolutely. Half-time team talk can change a lot. Daniel Farke, of course, famously was able to change his side's formation. I think it was in November last season, wasn't it, to change Leeds' fortune. So he's certainly not a manager that's stuck in his ways. He can adapt and may have to do some adaptations in game here to see if they can try and win the ball back, as Igor Thiago just allows that ball to get away from him. I think he was just facing the wrong way as that pass came from Coyote. But that gives Leeds a freebie of possession now down the left here, which has gone to Noah Okafor, getting away from Coyote, putting that cross in towards the back post. It's not too far away from Calvert-Lewin at all. And the ball goes out for a goal kick. But certainly that's a little bit better from Leeds. It's the first time really, in fact I'll say it's the first time, it's 2 or 3 times now I've noticed that Okafor seems to have just that extra yard ahead of Coyote every time.
Yes, what it does, it doesn't go down the line, it just steps out and gets it on the right foot, just basically outside the area. And decently cross, Calvert-Lewin is isolated in there. Like Brentford, when they had the crosses earlier, they had numbers of players in front of Trafford. So yeah, but it's better from Leeds. But now, after every time Leeds go forward, Brentford reply.
They do reply, and they've played the long ball after that short goal kick initially. And then it's Damsgaard playing one down the right channel in for Igor Thiago, just at the edge of the area, back towards Anthony. No options for a cross. Damsgaard has it now. There are 3 waiting at the edge of the area. As Igor Thiago tries to touch that ball on, it was just a little bit under hit. That allows Stack to clear the ball over the halfway line, where Collins doesn't take any chances. He just nods it out for a throw to Leeds then on the right-hand side. Still quite a long way out from goal. 37.5 minutes on the clock. Unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary at Ellen Road, where it's still goalless between Leeds and Brentford. It's just starting to find a little bit more of the ball now as Nico Elvedi takes the throw, gets it in towards Calvert-Lewin. He gets blocked off. It's then one back here by Bogle. Deflects off Jaden Bogle, but it's back with Elvedi. It looked like he might have been tripped slightly there by Damsgaard, but he carries on his run and he does lose the ball with Sharda blocking him. And it's Damsgaard's ball. Igor Thiago gets blocked, but then Sharda does really well just to flick that ball away from Jakobio, and he's heading towards the penalty area now. It's still Kevin Sharda into the box, holding that ball in towards the 6-yard box. He plays it square. The intended target was Anthony. It's a good clearance though, good covering there in defence. Anton Stack back in defence once again. It's now with Janel. He plays it short to Lewis Potter. Lewis Potter then finding Damsgaard at the edge of the area, working his way in. Great run from Damsgaard, just taking maybe one touch too many then when he could have played a pass. It's clear to the halfway line, but we're going back to what we saw earlier in the half. Leeds had a little spell where they started to see more of the ball. Now Brentford trying to press again.
Yeah, especially that slalom run from Sharda just now before they cleared the ball. A phenomenal run into the box. It's so close to actually getting finding a Brentford player inside a 6-yard box. It just goes across 6-yard box, but just can't find the final touch. But then now it's another ball up towards Thiago, and Thiago, Leeds don't know how to play against him. He's much stronger. He can turn. He hasn't. I don't think he's lost one duel.
He hasn't lost one duel, but his passes have been a little bit wayward on a couple of occasions. He's not quite been able to find a teammate every time. As Okafor, who's enjoying his afternoon against Coyote on the few occasions where he does get to take him on. Leeds aren't obviously looking for Okafor exclusively. To the ball now played back towards Jakobio. That's with Nico Elvedi slowing things down here for Leeds in central midfield. For BL then playing a ball over the top. They need to avoid stuff like that. I mean, a long ball when Calvert-Lewin's up against Ayer and Collins, he's not going to win anything against those two on his own. I'll get your thoughts on that in a second, because just as we say that, it's Sangare and Yano playing a quick 1-2, and then it's down the right-hand side here for Anthony, and Anthony's into the box. His cross is aimed at Sharda. It's not the best header, though. It gets away towards the edge of the area, where it drops to Mikkel Damsgaard. Damsgaard into Sangare. Sangare then goes for goal. The ball deflects away, kept alive by Lewis Potter. His cross coming in, and it's from Kevin Sharda. He gets a touch to it and loops that ball into the corner. Well, Brentford have been threatening this since the first minute of the game. Leeds have had a few spells where they've tried to get forward, but on this occasion there's just too many Brentford bodies in the box. 41 minutes gone, it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1.
And what a goal from Sharda, because the cross from Lewis Potter from the left-hand side is it's into the box, and it just get it outside on his right foot, and it just curls into the far corner, and it comes after basically just replacing Leeds getting into the game, but it comes after basically lots of chances, and then the cross into the box. That is just a phenomenal goal on the outside his box. No chance for Trafford, but the whole started with the Brentford playing it through the Leeds defence. Leeds had that press of 4 players inside the Brentford half, one pass through it, and then the overload.
Such a clever finish, though. It's only
incredible.
It's only when you see the reverse angle. He stabbed his right boot at it. The ball is just about to hit the deck, and he redirects it, and it loops. I mean, from one angle, it looks like it's just deflected. He doesn't know what he's doing, but he knows exactly what he's doing. Kevin Sharda. It's a very clever finish.
Exactly what it tries to do, but that's one of those with expected goals 0.05 or so, 0.05 or something. It's not even a chance. But it basically, if you have enough chances, if you have enough crosses into the box like Brentford have today, you will get chances. That's what Daniel Farke would tell the Leeds team, because they've been shocking all day. They're not going to get near the Brentford players in midfield. How many times have Brentford players been able to actually try and turn with no actually press?
No, there is a link missing for Leeds. I just wonder whether or not they may want to sacrifice one of their attacking midfielders to get an extra body. I mean, have a quick look, as we have resumed after the goal. But the full bench for Leeds is Notto, Goodmanson, James, Longstaff, Nemecha, Tanaka, Wilson, and Cairns. I mean, I would suggest to Daniel Farke that Harry Wilson should be playing, because he's scored so many goals for Fulham against Brentford. I think it's something like 6 or 7 in 4 games. So statistically, he might be somebody that Leeds to think about in the second half. But certainly, looking at that bench, potentially maybe Longstaff to try and settle things in midfield, potentially Tanaka to give them another attacking option. But you feel like they have to change something in that midfield.
They have to change, because at the moment they're not winning the second balls, because that was two chances before, 2 crosses into the box before it fell to Lewis Potter, who crossed the ball into Sharda, and it's at the moment Brentford all over Leeds, and it's I expected this. I expected Leeds to be dominating the press and maybe more counter-attacking play from Brentford, but what do I know?
Well, it's as I say, I wasn't expecting it to be this one-sided. I did think that Brentford would have their moments on the counter, because it's what Brentford try and do against every opposition. But I did expect Leeds to have perhaps a little bit more confidence after 2 very solid away performances, 2 clean sheets, beating Nottingham Forest 1-0 last weekend, and then in midweek up against the same team, obviously, although both sides would have made a string of changes for the Carabao Cup. But certainly at their first game on home soil, you would have thought Leeds would have just had that little bit more energy about them, but perhaps they were just shocked into their shell a little bit by Brentford's positive start. We've still got 90 seconds before we hit injury time at Ellen Road. It's still goalless at the Stadium of Light between Sunderland and Fulham, and it's Chelsea 3, Brighton 1. Apologies if we missed mentioning that goal, but Brighton do have a goal back, and it's Yalkoy with the goal there for the Seagulls. It is 3-1 to Chelsea in that game as Brentford go forward again. It's kept alive here by Sangare. Does really well to get away from the challenger stacker. Then he plays it square for King Lewis Potter, who was brought down, but the referee plays an advantage. I think probably Brentford would have preferred the free kick in a central position, but they've gone back into midfield anyway. Still keeping alive now with Yanel to Sangare. Turning and going back over towards the left-hand side for Lewis Potter. Towards the edge of the area, he then finds Kevin Sharda, Brentford's goal scorer. Then back towards Lewis Potter, lifts one into the penalty area. It's a low cross, though, easily headed clear by James Justin. The ball back into midfield, but Brentford win it straight back again here now with Damsgaard. Just running away from trouble, then he back it. Oh, it's a really good pass as well towards Janelt. And Lewis Potter now exchanging passes 35 yards out from goal.
I think the Brentford fans will doing the Ole at the moment from India away, because how many passes have Brentford had now? And Leeds, they can't even get near the ball, and they're not actually that difficult passes from Brentford. It's very good. And eventually, when you pass the ball like this, you will create chances.
No, absolutely. I think that it is just a case of now Brentford just trying to maintain that level until the end of the half. We're into injury time now. There's a real fight for the ball down the right. And Igor Thiago has got there first. He puts the cross in, and it gets a deflection out. It's a corner kick to Brentford as we enter 3 minutes of added time.
What a goal that would have been after all that possession from Brentford. And Igor Thiago, he just wins the duel on the right-hand side there. And Biol first to the ball just in front of the post, and for a corner kick to Brentford, who basically it's not flattering at all. 1-0 probably should have been more for Brentford.
It should, well, as I say, I think 1-0 is the least that Brentford could be expecting for the amount of attacking possession they've had. Of course, playing well doesn't guarantee you a goal, but they have created a couple of good chances, and the goal they scored really was a very well worked move. But now they've got another chance here from a set piece with Vitaly Janelt standing over it. Puts a bit more height on it than his previous corner. It's aimed at the back post, but if anything, it was probably just a little bit too high this time. Igor Thiago getting underneath it rather than actually attacking it, and he heads it out for a goal kick.
Yeah, just flicks it the way, and just changed the direction of the ball. Almost like he's going forward too soon, Igor Thiago. So if he just stands where he was, he could have just headed it straight on goal. But then again, then Ampadu might have got onto it if he didn't attack it like that.
Yeah, that certainly would have been a risk as well from that point of view. 90 seconds of injury time still to play. It's already half-time at the Stadium of Light, where it is still goalless between Sunderland and Fulham. Quite hard to really predict how both of those teams are going to get on this season. Of course, Fulham with a slightly untested manager, and Sunderland, of course, with European football to think about. As Leeds now go on the attack, they want to respond before the end of the half. A ball down the left-hand side and a cross coming in. It's just a little bit too quick for Calvert-Lewin and for Aronson, but it's kept alive here on the right by Bogle. He plays it back towards Elvedi, and now it's with Ampadu back towards the halfway line. Jakabio being closed down by Igor Thiago. With Muharimovic to Ampadu again. The left-hand side, played up into the air, but that one's headed clear by Janelt, and then it's hooked up in the air by Sangare. The ball drops to Jakabio again. He tries a long ball this time. It's taken down by Bogle, but he shows too much of it to King Lewis Potter, who's easily able to win that back, and then Sharda plays the ball forward. It's cut out before it reaches Vitaly Janelt, but this time Lewis Potter doesn't mess about. He slams that ball over the halfway line, and it could actually work out like a good ball for Jayden Anthony had it not been for the header from Muharimovic. A throw to Brentford. Yes,
just a big, long clearance after half a minute of Leeds possession just outside the box. No chances created for Leeds in that spell. So it's a throw in just on the right-hand side. It looks like Brentford might just calm things down and get 1-0 to half-time.
Yes, absolutely. We've had pretty much the 3 minutes of added time now. It's just a couple of seconds left of those 3 minutes. Our referee looking at his watch. Brentford are just pushing into the final third. Whether or not they're going to have time, I don't think they will, because they've actually played the ball back towards the halfway, and that will be it for this first half at Ellen Road, where Leeds United have started slowly, Brentford have started quickly, and although Leeds have responded with a bit of attacking possession, they've not been able to live with Brentford in attack for long spells, and it took until the 41st minute before Kevin Sharda did give Brentford the lead. But it is Leeds United 0, Brentford 1. We're back in 15 minutes. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Sharda. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Sharder. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Sharder. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Sharder. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Sharder. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Sharder. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Sharder. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Sharder. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Sharder. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Sharder. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Sharder. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. They had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. They had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. They had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. They had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. They had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. They had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. They had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. They had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. They had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. They had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Schade. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Sharder. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. Half-time at Ellen Road, where it's Leeds United 0, Brentford 1, and it's a deserved scoreline. The visitors have been setting the tempo for most of this game. They seem to just shock and surprise Leeds into going into their shell early on in this half, and then from there, Daniel Farke's team never really responded with any kind of long-standing possession. Had a couple of chances, a couple of balls across, but from Brentford's point of view, Sangare and Igor Thiago had efforts blocked before Brentford took the lead after a ball was cleared. It was crossed in by Lewis Potter, and then a really smart finish with the toe end from Kevin Sharder. Leeds 0, Brentford 1. It's a very warm welcome back to second half independent off-tube studio commentary from the game at Ellen Road. We're just about to get underway for the second 45, where Leeds United trail Brentford by a goal to nil. Brentford were the better side for most of the first 45 minutes, setting the tempo and spending more time in attack than the home side. So we need to see a bit of a response, more than a bit of a response from Leeds if they're going to get back into this game. They've made a double change at half-time. We'll confirm. We know who's come on. We just need to confirm who's gone off. It's Ayo Tanaka and Harry Wilson that have come on. And interesting enough, Ayo Tanaka actually comes on for Jacobiol, so this is going to mean that Leeds go to a back four as they potentially try to get more bodies in midfield and to make things that little bit more difficult for Brentford in terms of the Bees getting into possession. So confirmation, Ayo Tanaka is on for Jacobiol. Brandon Aronson is off to be replaced by Harry Wilson. That makes perfect sense in terms of the stats, because Wilson, as a Fulham player, enjoyed plenty of goals against Brentford, so Leeds will be hoping he can do more of the same this afternoon. But it's myself, Paul Shimakovic, and Eric Stanyas taking you through the action. Eric, Leeds needed to make those changes.
They needed to make those changes. I'm surprised that Beale, because they already lost the centre half through injury in Roden, so Beale sacrificed. You assume it's a two at the back if not Ampadu is playing in midfield, so he would be the natural player to go back, but they're going forward now on the left-hand side.
They are, and if Brentford start sitting back, that's going to encourage Leeds. There's a good cross coming in from the left-hand side. It was a ball in from James Justin, which is cleared back into midfield, and then a bouncing ball that Igor Thiago will chase. Elvedi does get there first. He just about gets enough distance on it. Trafford is being hurried, though, because Thiago was closing him down. Anthony's closing down as well, and Leeds just about get that ball away, and it's played over the top now for Calvert-Lewin, but that's going to bounce through towards Collins, and he can go back towards Kelleher. So Leeds have got James Trafford in goal, and it looks like it's a back four of Bogle, Elvedi, Muhamarovic and Justin. Then it's three in midfield of Tanaka, Ampadu and Stach, with Wilson, Okafor and Calvert-Lewin as the attacking three for Brentford. No changes. It's Kelleher in goal, back four of Coyote, Aya, Collins and Lewis Potter. Janelt and Sangare are the holder midfielders, with Sharda, Damsgaard and Anthony as the attacking midfield three behind Igor Thiago. Brentford in possession just at the edge of their own penalty area. A long clearance there from Aya. It's not the best. Goes straight through towards Tanaka, and that gives Leeds a bit more encouragement to go down the left-hand side as Tanaka finds Okafor. He then puts a cross in, which is more of a diagonal ball over towards the right-hand edge of the penalty area. But Brentford get the ball away. Damsgaard is able to find Sharda, and now Brentford can go on a counter if they can spot the ball. It's the wrong pass from Kevin Sharda. He played the ball down the narrow left channel for Thiago, who was already marked. Jadon Anthony had the whole of the pitch to himself.
If you look up and see Jadon Anthony there, and if it's the right pass, he's one-on-one with the keeper with no defenders chasing him down. It's a poor decision by Sharda. I can only assume he didn't actually. Nobody had his teammates there.
No, I mean, it's whether or not Igor Thiago never made the shout, whether or not Anthony never made the shout, whether Sharda had made his mind up early that he just wants to play that pass, but it was the wrong option. Leeds now back in possession here with Muhamarovic, finding Elvedi. As I say, this is one of 3 games on our service right now. It's Chelsea 3, Brighton 1. It's still goalless between Sunderland and Fulham. And still to come in just under an hour and a half, we've got Manchester United against Ipswich Town, as Brentford trying to win the ball back in midfield. A strong challenge there from Anthony, but he doesn't to get the ball off James Justin. Okafor now trying to run down the left, but he's been blocked by Michael Coyote. Out for a throw to Leeds on the left-hand side, to be taken here by James Justin. Gets that ball in, gets it straight back as well. Here does Justin, nods it forward, and it's kept alive here now by Tanaka, but then it's cleared at the edge of the area by Aya. Sangare and Anthony then linking up, and it's a ball through towards Igor Thiago. He just hesitated. I think he was worried about being offside as well, so he actually leaves the ball, and in the end Leeds have it back. And this is a little bit better from Leeds because they need to see more of the ball in the second half.
Yeah, it's much better intensity-wise from Leeds United, because that was very poor in the first half, but already seen in 2 occasions how vulnerable they are on the counter-attack now. If they push forward like this, if the right pass twice had come, Brentford would have been one-on-one with the keeper already.
Absolutely, that's what they'll be hoping for that another opportunity, but it's Leeds on the attack now with a deep cross coming in. Coyote with a really poor header away over towards the edge of the area. It goes to Okafor. His shot was heading on target. Aya dives in front of it, gets that ball away from his goalkeeper, but it's cleared by Sharda up to the halfway line where Elvedi gets there before Igor Thiago. Leeds are starting to win second balls now as they push forward down the right here with Bogle. He plays it back in towards Wilson. It's Wilson's cross, which is nodded clear by Sangare. Drops into midfield where Muhammorovic then plays it back towards Harry Wilson. Down the right-hand side now for Bogle. Towards the penalty area, no options for a cross himself. He just holds it up, plays it back to Wilson. He then goes square to Muhammorovic. Closed down by Jaden Anthony, but this is better from Leeds now. Ampadu back over towards the right-hand side. A bit of a bounce on that ball. Cross coming in, and in the end, Coyote having to volley that one clear inside his own 6-yard box. He looked for a second like he might be shanking that one into his own net, but it is out for a corner.
Well, it's facing the goal, and it looked like it'd been an attacker then. Oh, I'm just going to tap it into the back of the net. But I think maybe Kelleher should do better to potentially go and collect those crosses, because basically that ball come down with snow on it. It was in the air a long time, and Coyote, once the ball drops to him, he did the right thing.
He did. On that occasion, he does get it clear, but here comes the corner kick for Leeds. It's into the 6-yard box. It's nodded clear out for another corner. This is the kind of intensity that Leeds were missing in the first half. Another corner kick straight away now, and it's still with Anton Stach here on the right hand, on the left-hand side. It's going to be a right-footed in-swinger from the German midfielder. Here pushing and shoving inside that box for our referee Tony Harrington to be keeping an eye on, but Stack's ball towards the back post is a good one. Kelleher's there, gets a touch on it. It's then nodded clear by Damsgaard, and if Anthony can get there first, Brentford go on a counter-attack. Is a challenge there from Bogle. He takes too long on the ball in the end as Jaden Anthony, and there was an option to try and play that one through. It's in the end, it doesn't reach its intended target, which would have been Sangare. He was the one who was ranging the furthest forward now, but Leeds have it again here on the left with Anton Stach. Back towards Muhammorovic, being closed down by Igor Thiago, and then Sangare steps up and wins that ball back for Brentford. Igor Thiago trying to get towards the air, but that's a really good challenge for Muhammorovic. He had to time that one, and he did it perfectly.
Yeah, it's a really poor pass first in the midfield, and very well intercepted, and Brentford, again, a really poor pass towards Thiago, but that was 4 against 2, I think, where if Brentford had used the opportunities. So I think that's a Brentford point of view. It's not a disaster that they are pressed back, but they just need to be more clinical when they go forward, because they have so many chances already to create that opportunity. Come forward again now.
Yeah, they've won the ball back in midfield. And Damsgaard on the run here after the pass from Sharda. The pass from Sharda is just a little bit under hit. Won't get through towards Damsgaard. It's cleared into midfield, but Brentford win the second ball here now. And it's played across. Lewis Potter robbed of it, but there is Sangare, and he plays it back towards Lewis Potter, turning away from trouble. Sangare then finding a ball down the right-hand side. Just a little bit off balance there when he was playing that pass, and a little bit of frustration there from Jaden Anthony. He wanted that pass to be a bit closer to him. But Brentford just starting to find their feet again early on after a positive start from Leeds in the first few minutes.
Yes, a positive start from Leeds, because it couldn't be much worse than the first half. But again, when Leeds, they play a really risky game, and it makes it very entertaining for the neutrals, because there will be chances probably both ways if Brentford sit back a bit more, although they are growing into the game, and fantastic skills from Damsgaard on the right-hand side, just intercepted in the end.
It is intercepted in the end. Damsgaard couldn't quite control it, and then it's a good clearance down the left-hand side from James Justin. Well, a good clearance in terms of the fact that he gets the ball away from trouble, but there's no one in a Leeds shirt close enough to do anything with that, and it is out, and it's back with Quaymin Kelleher. So camera now focusing on Daniel Farker. As I say, he knows the expectations at Ellen Road are always very high. Hugely passionate and committed fan base with Leeds United, not just locally but nationally and internationally as well. So any time that Leeds lose, there's always going to be questions, there's always going to be comments about that, and he knows that. But his side are trying to find their feet after a disappointing first half. 53.5 minutes on the clock. It is still Leeds 0, Brentford 1. the Bees are in possession, slow and steady, just at the edge of their own penalty area. Collins now finding Janelt. He then goes towards Lewis Potter. Still just sitting back inside their own half, but they're playing a high offside line though, so there's certainly no easy option for Brentford in terms of the diagonal ball, which is something that the Bees tried to use early on in this game. Janelt now going square to Ayer, pushing forward down the right-hand side, and here is Coyote now getting towards the edge of the area. There's players to aim at inside the box. The cross does come in, a good important header away there from Elvedi, but it's kept alive by Sangare. Sangare then going out towards Sharda. Back to Sangare, about 40 yards out from goal. And Brentford just getting a little bit more comfortable now. Yeah,
we're back to where we were in the most part of the first half, with Brentford just knocking it about. Leeds, positive start, especially the intensity early on. A couple of crosses, a couple of corner kicks for Leeds United. No chances, no shots on goal for Leeds yet. So they are obviously 0 Keller saves. I think by a pound, one cross out of. That's it from Keller so far. But yeah, it's disappointing from Leeds' point of view that they've sort of gone back to where they were. Now it's a chance for Anthony.
Oh, it is a chance for Anthony. He was found with quite an easy pass in the end from Christopher Ayer. Anthony's strike gets a big deflection. It goes out. I think it's still going to be a throw on right by the corner flag. But again, it's just there was nobody around Anthony at all, and maybe he could have actually taken another touch or two.
Actually, James Justin as left back, he's gambling on the pass to the right hand side towards Coyote. It's just incredible, and it could easily have been a shot on goal. It's out for a throw in, and it could be a long one from Coyote.
Yeah, Coyote waiting to take this throw. James Trafford got a couple of Brentford players to worry about just in front of him in the 6-yard box. It's a long throw from Coyote, flicked on, and it's up in the air. Still needs to be dealt with. It's Elvedi with the header. Second ball does find Coyote. His cross gets a deflection, and it's out for a Brentford corner.
Yeah, Brentford well on top again. In the first 5 minutes, as you mentioned, Paul, Leeds United had a bit more intensity, a bit more of a possession, but Brentford all on top again the last 5 minutes, and by far, even in the second half, the better side.
Yeah, they certainly are starting to sort of edge back into this game as the dominant team. Leeds made a little bit of a statement inside the first few minutes of the second half, but now they've been penned back into their own penalty area for a good few minutes, and Brentford with this in-swinging corner now from Vitaly Janelt. A lot of height on it, aimed at the back post. It's headed up in the air, still needs to be dealt with. Damsgaard then sends a looping header, but it's wide over the bar in the end there from Damsgaard. It's not his first talent really heading the ball, and he proved that on that occasion.
Yeah, I think it's a much better chance than he needs to do better. He's running towards the ball. It's probably about 10-11 yards away from goal, on the slightly to the right of centre. And it's a free header. He needs to get out on target.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually leaning back a little bit. Yeah, he heads it too high.
He mistimes it completely. He's running too quick towards the ball, and yeah, that's because of the poor finish. It doesn't really look like a good chance, but that's a much better chance than it really looked like.
I think he'll be disappointed with that when he sees that replay, and Leeds will be disappointed because they're playing out from the back, and they get a bit of luck actually because they lost the ball in midfield, but the ball then deflects into the path of Stack, and he spreads play, and suddenly it's Harry Wilson with plenty of space down the right-hand side into the penalty area. He plays it on the overlap to Jaden Bogle, but he pretty much plays it into Bogle's feet, and he was already running at full speed. He couldn't control it, and he just plays it out for a goal kick.
Well, it's at least that's better from Leeds on the transition, and he does everything right there, Wilson. But yes, I said he played it just behind Bogle, and Bogle just gets it in his feet and just runs it out of play. So the pass from Wilson is
disappointing there from Wilson in the end. Long clearance and up towards the halfway line, nodded on by Igor Thiago. Sharda turning, but he's got two Leeds players around him, couldn't keep the ball, and home side now back in possession here with Ayo Tanaka. Closed down by Sangare. He goes back towards Justin. Justin puts a little bit of extra pace on that back pass, and Trafford is closed down by Igor Thiago. The ball deflects off Igor Thiago. It is up for a throw to Leeds, but it's perhaps just showing that Leeds are maybe a little bit too casual in defence.
Very casual, and Justin, well overhit back pass, and then a slightly bad first touch from Trafford, and eventually clears his wire. Thiago out for a throw in, and
yeah, and from that resulting throw, and Brentford press, and now they've won a throw, so it's certainly paid off putting that pressure on that Leeds defence. It's Michael Coyote getting ready to take it, as we see Damien Duff, one of Keith Andrews' new assistants for the new season. His compatriot there on the Brentford coaching staff, talking to Dango Otara, so this might be the end of the afternoon potentially for Jaden Anthony.
Yeah, Otara is a bit like for like as Jaden Anthony. Played well today, Anthony. maybe the decision making in the final part has not been the best, but it's been a live wire going forward.
He has absolutely. I say it's competition for those places, and when you think that Fabio Carvalho is coming back after a long-term knee injury as well, there's going to be even more competition for those attacking spots. The Brentford benches: Carvalho, Juve, Henry, Hickey, Otara, Schuster, Callum Wilson, Yarmoliuk, and the goalkeeper Valdemarsson. So those are the Brentford substitutes. As I say, Leeds have already made 3 changes. They still have Nemecha, Longstaff, James, Goodmanson, Notto, and Cairns, the goalkeeper, to choose from in terms of any further changes. But it's Leeds going back towards their own penalty area now here. James Trafford being closed down by Damsgaard. Plays the ball through the middle this time, and it's a good pass to find Ampadu, but he's then robbed of the ball, and then Leeds now have to track back quickly because it's Igor Thiago playing that ball in towards Damsgaard. Damsgaard at the edge of the area, turning away from trouble. He finds Anthony. Igor Thiago then back to Sangare. He spots the run of Lewis Potter. He's completely unmarked over on the left-hand side. He takes a touch and then puts a cross in. It's a low cross, though, disappointing from Lewis Potter. Headed back into the area by Sangare before Ampadu finally takes the sting out of the attack and nods it back to his keeper.
Yeah, it's a good play by Brentford again. The poor cross in the end into the area, but Brentford win the ball again. It's an unforced error from Leeds, so just a pass in the middle of the park that's picked up, and then Brentford win the ball. They look dangerous, and they're just waiting for that pass to create that big chance. I think that's what's actually been missing from this performance from Brentford, is to create that big opening. It's been a lot of percentage chances, like the goal was.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, they're perhaps just Brentford will be pining for that second goal because they'll know that any side in the Premier League can always get a goal back. But when you think of Leeds at home, there is always that goal threat. And now we are going to see this change that I mentioned for Brentford. It is going to be Dango Otara to come on for the Bees. Just waiting for confirmation as to who he's going to replace. And it is a like for like. It's Jadon Anthony going off. Dango Otara coming on. As I say, he's had some really good games for Brentford. Had some disappointing ones as well. Occasionally he does just try to score that very intricate, that very technical goal where sometimes the straightforward pass or the square ball is the better option. But then I suppose for a player in his position, you want him to be trying to experiment with things as well. You want him to be doing something from nothing. We'll see how he beds down today.
Yeah, and I think Otara, he thinks probably we're going to start. So he's got something to prove this when he's going coming on.
He started last week in a game where his team played very well, and he doesn't get the start today. So that will certainly get him thinking as pressure there from Brentford in midfield ends up with a free kick to Leeds. Anton Stack was just pushed off the ball. Despite the Brentford protestations, Tony Harrington does give the free kick the way of Leeds. Elvedi then squared to Muhamirovic, who's taking a big risk there. It's a heavy touch, and he to credit to him because it looked like he was going to lose that ball twice. Igor Thiago and then Damsgaard very nearly robbed him of the ball, but now a ball over the top almost gets through towards Calvert-Lewin. Mustafa Aya, just for a moment there, started to worry too much about Calvert-Lewin and not enough about the ball.
Yeah, indeed, and that was actually from a mistake from Muhamirovic, and what a recovery run from Muhamirovic, because he managed to get through two attackers from Brentford.
Well,
and now they go forward again.
Well, they do, and Brentford having a bit of a mess at the back, and Ayo Tanaka almost profiting. Brentford just clear that ball anyway, and it drops to Wilson, who wants to go from 30 yards. His ball gets a big deflection. It's still kept alive at the edge of the area by Tanaka. He goes back to Justin, and this time, finally, Aya puts his foot through it and clears that over the halfway line. Meanwhile, the plot thickens at Stamford Bridge, because it's now Chelsea 3, Brighton 2. And anyone who saw the game, all the highlights of Chelsea away to Fulham, will know that whilst they're great going forward, they look very suspect at the back. So it's João Pedro with an own goal. That's no good for somebody who made him as their fantasy captain this week, but we'll have to gloss over that. It's João Pedro scoring against his former team and now scoring for his former team.
It's all happening there, and Brighton, what a good start they had to the season. Again, a team like lots of people, maybe they get relegated because they only look at the players they sell. And not the overall recruitment.
Yeah,
they're nowhere near a relegation side.
I think when you look at the 3 Bs in the Premier League, Brentford, Bournemouth and Brighton, I think you just have to use the expression, just trust the process, because I think those 3 clubs have proven over the last 4 or 5 seasons they know what they're doing when it comes to buying and selling players. And although all 3 of those clubs have had seasons where they've just flirted with the bottom half and the bottom 6 a bit too much, they've actually always given themselves enough of a gap there. And of course, Brighton are in Europe this season, so there's absolutely no danger there. I think that it is always going to be difficult when you sell players, but say the fact that they looked absolutely down and out of it, and Chelsea now it's down to 3-2 with just under half an hour to play. It's very much game on. It's game on here as well at Ellen Road. Leeds are just being penned back inside their own half again, and Elvedi going over towards Bogle. He plays a ball through the middle out towards the left. There is a really good pass as well to spot James Justin, and he has loads of space. Justin gets to the edge of there, and he goes for goal himself, and he does get a touch from Kelleher on the way. It's out for a corner.
That's a great effort, but Justin, it just goes past the first Otara. Otara very slack in the press there, and it's a free shot from about 25 yards, but there's no press, there's no nothing. So it's basically a free shot on goal, and a good save by Kelleher. Best chance for Leeds.
It might have been a save from Kelleher. It might have actually been a nick off the defender on the way. It's hard to tell from the replay that we've just seen as to who actually got the telling touch, but it's not on target, just wide of the post. After that deflected effort, so it's Anton Stack now taking the corner kick for Leeds. Aims inside the 6-yard box. Is a good header away by Collins. And that's going to go out for a throw to Leeds, but it's a long way from goal. Brentford surviving that particular set piece. Looks like James Justin is coming across to take the throw on here on the left-hand side. But as I say, it's about 30 yards from goal, so he's not going to be launching this one into the penalty area. It's just going to be a long throw back towards the... Well, actually, he's going to throw it that long. He could have thrown it into the penalty area, but he prefers to go back towards the halfway line. And then Muhamarovic all the way back towards James Trafford. He's just having to track back a little bit as Brentford immediately put their offside line as high as possible. And Elvedi just getting a little bit of a tangle there with Damsgaard. He doesn't want to take any chances. He just rolls it back towards his goalkeeper. Played through the middle now, with Ampadu finding Wilson. He then spreads play from right to left. It's a really good ball as well to pick out James Justin. Takes it on the run and then puts an early cross at himself. Coyote gets his body in the way and puts in the block. Plays a pass in towards Sangare, and then Sangare keeps his composure and is able to get this ball away. That's great play there from Dango Otara. Skips past one and he's heading towards the penalty area. He'll still Dango Otara, and he spots Kevin Schade moving into the box. Schade takes a touch. He gets brought down. He goes down too easily. I can understand why Schade thought he might get a free kick for that, but there just wasn't enough contact, despite it being in a very attacking position. And then it's going to be a free kick to Leeds in midfield after a foul from Coyote.
Absolutely superb play by Otara. When it goes forward, pass should have gone a bit further ahead of Schade. Schade is actually tackled inside the box there. So if it's a penalty, if VAR could get involved, I don't think it's enough for a penalty. But that pass needs to be 2-3 yards in front of Schade, so he had to sort of backtrack. He tries to get into the area and get it on his right foot for a shot on goal. But again, Brentford, they just need, from a Brentford point of view, they need to get their final pass much more accuracy.
Yeah,
they have so many. They could have been 3-4 up with the final pass being more accurate.
They could have done, but speaking of accuracy, I mean, we're just seeing a very accurate replay from the TV pictures we're getting that might have got VAR interested at the other end, because that ball in from Justin does strike Coyote on the side of the body. It's almost on his elbow, but then his arm is tucked in. He's not trying to make his body any bigger.
No, you can't give a penalty for that. But it's one of, I think, 5, 6 years ago when it started, everything that would have been a penalty, because every handball was effectively given as a penalty.
I remember a time when in La Liga they would give a penalty for every handball and a yellow card every time as well. As we're seeing yet another replay there from Bogle. It's close. I mean, as I say, there's a trailing leg. I think it actually looks worse than I thought it did in real time. I think the issue is that it's not a natural fall from Schade. No. I don't think Schade's falling because of the contact with Bogle. He then falls because he knows he's been clipped by Bogle, and that's probably what's the fact that he sort of falls in stages. We'll break off from that because now suddenly Leeds are on the counter with a ball towards the penalty area. It was Calvert-Lewin chasing that one all the way into the box, but it's well marshalled by Ayer, and he puts it out. I think it's going to be a corner.
I think corner or throw in on the left hand side. So it's Leeds. They're slightly better on the transition. They're more direct now going forward, and that's a decent ball towards Calvert-Lewin. Good defending by Ayer, and now it's
another attacking change. Jaden Bogle is off to be replaced by Dan James. So a wide forward-thinking defender is now being replaced by an out-and-out right winger. So this is Leeds not messing around at all. They're making a second change as well. So this is going to be James Justin going off, and Lucas Nemecha coming on. So Leeds really are going for it now. That's another change, and we're also going to see Brentford making a midfield change here now, and this is a defensive change from from Keith, and unless it does mean that Sangare might be given a bit more license. But Mikhail Damsgaard is on, and Ukrainian international Yeko Yarmolyuk is on to replace him.
Yeah, so it's that's Leeds. All 5 changes made from Leeds United. That's really early in the game to make those 5 changes, but it means that Farke, means business, not happy.
No, and Leeds have taken the corner kick short and deflected towards the edge of the area before it's an awkward clearance there from Otara. It's going to go out for a throw to Leeds rather than a corner, but you're absolutely right. It's 69 minutes gone to make your 5th and final change is a bit of a risk. But then I think he would argue that he needs to do something here just to try and get his side back into the game. But it's a throw to Leeds here on the left-hand side. Welsh international Ampadu sending that ball into the box. It's flicked on. Needed a second touch from a Leeds player, but it's played away by Collins, and then Sharda will chase that ball. But it's won back quickly here by Stack, and it goes back towards the goalkeeper. Leeds still in possession. Yeah,
it's just because it was actually Okafor went off for Matchday, not Justin. So Justin is still on the pitch. Oh, this terrible pass from Trafford, and now Otara can come for Brentford.
Absolutely, yes, and you're absolutely right. James Justin does stay on, so that would have been even more attacking, wouldn't it? To have Nemecha and Nemecha and Okafor on at the same time. But yeah, confirmation that it's James Justin remains on the field, and it's Okafor who's gone off. Nemecha has gone on to replace him. James has come on to replace Bogle, and just confirmation again that Yeko Yarmolyuk has come on to replace Mikhail Damsgaard in midfield for Brentford. And Brentford have won themselves a throw in attacking territory. It's level with the penalty area, so we know what that's going to mean. It's going to be Michael Coyote launching this one into the box, and he really does launch it into the 6-yard box. Gets a flick off a Leeds head first and second time, but then drops to Sangare and puts his foot through it. Just too many bodies in the way, and it's been cleared into midfield. Leeds won a free kick for a foul at the edge of the box. Referee Tony Harrington not interested. It's cleared to the halfway line, where traditionally it is Lewis Potter, the last man back for Brentford. Plays the ball short towards Coyote. And now Yarmolyuk tracking all the way back towards his own goalkeeper here, where Kelleher, under no real pressure, can just play that ball out towards Collins. It's now on the left-hand side here with Lewis Potter into Janelt. Down the left-hand side as Brentford just starting to push forward again here now, just starting to spot those gaps as Yarmolyuk finds Lewis Potter. It really is opening up for Brentford here now. Lewis Potter finding Coyote on the right-hand side. He takes a touch and then puts across it. It's a good ball and it's been missed by 2 Brentford players. Looks like Dango Otara and Igor Thiago both missed that ball as it was coming in. It looked like it was a good cross as well.
It's a very good cross and a fantastic build-up play and attacking play by Brentford, just playing through the Leeds defence. And yeah, the 2 players on the ball, but they're going forward again now. Coyote, maybe shooting opportunity.
Coyote has got a shooting opportunity. He feints and goes onto his weaker left foot, and then if you're a right back shooting with your weaker left foot, it's likely that your shot is going to go a long way over, and Coyote barely even had time to turn around from that shot, and he's already putting his hand up to apologise because it wasn't the right option at all.
But he had a very good cross just there, and it's two players at the far post, Thiago and it's Lewis Potter at the far post for
it's Thiago
it's Dango Otara, and it's actually that shot from he actually got a corner kick from that shot.
From the next, absolutely, he must have got a slight nick. I mean,
it looked like he went straight over the bar.
Yeah, well, that's a bonus for Brentford because that shot was going a long way wide. Sunderland, by the way, have taken the lead against Fulham. Will confirm the goal scorer in just a second, but here comes the cross towards the back post. Good header away, though, by Stack. He's chasing the second ball. He gets there ahead of Dango Otara, trying to turn away, but he's left that ball for Dango Otara. Now it's Coyote into the 6-yard box. Good header away by Ampadu this time. Kept alive here by Janelt. Flicked on by Sangare. Leeds do clear their lines, and now all of a sudden Brentford are going to pay because they've left too many players forward. And here is a chance now, charging towards the edge of the area, and a shot over the goal. It's gone over from Dan James. Well, that's a huge let-off for Brentford. They left everybody up for the set piece. They left nobody on the halfway line, and it was the right ball played towards Dan James, and he should score.
He should score, and his first touch is terrible from an attacking point of view because he takes it to the right. If he takes it to the left, he basically is clean on goal from the halfway line, and you think he is fast enough to actually run with the ball, but it goes wide, and when he shoots, I don't. That's not even a shot on goal. That's like
you can actually see the Leeds fans already putting their heads in their hands when he's made that shot, even long before it goes over the bar. Chelsea have restored their 2-goal lead. They're 4-2 up against Brighton. Sunderland took the lead through Wilson Isidore. That's a strong challenge there from Christopher Ajer. He's arguing that he's won the ball. The Leeds fans and players aren't happy, and neither is the referee. Ajer's going to get a yellow card.
Yeah, I think that's quite a clear yellow card. He just launches into Justin on the far side there, and it's definitely yellow. And I don't think Ajer is just smiling as he goes into the box. He knows that basically that was a yellow card, so no protestation from the Norwegian. But free kick, dangerous position from Leeds. Funny enough, still in the game.
Very much still in the game. Brentford haven't been able to get that second goal as yet. Just to tell you that it's Cole Palmer that's made it 4-2 for Chelsea. The cross coming in. Good clearance, a good punching clearance there from Kelleher. Gets the ball away from his box, and then it's a long volleyed clearance there from Thiago. Probably doesn't get as much distance on it as he would have liked. It's out for a throw to Leeds, but it's still in the Brentford half. Over on the right-hand side. 74 minutes gone here at Ellen Road. It is still Leeds United 0, Brentford 1. Ball played towards the edge of the Brentford penalty area, but it's Viana who gets a touch, and then it's Lewis Potter up to the halfway line. Igor Thiago gets blocked on the halfway. Collins then steps out and he gives the ball away, and it suddenly opens up for Leeds down the right-hand side. Here is Nemecha now putting that ball in, but there is Janelt again. He's been excellent this afternoon in defensive midfield. Nemecha, though, does really well to win it back. He's looked really busy since he's come on. Gets blocked off by Nathan Collins. Second ball, though, still kept alive here for Leeds, but that's good work from Collins. Gets the ball away from Dan James, but then the clearance is awful from the Republic of Ireland international. Doesn't get as much distance as he would have liked, and it's Elvedi's just walking all the way towards the edge of the area before he gets challenged. And now suddenly there's a counter-attacking opportunity for Brentford, but Leeds actually had plenty of numbers back there, and then it's played back towards the edge of the box where Calvert-Lewin was waiting. It's a last-ditch block, and then there is Janelt again playing it in towards Sangare. Brentford want a free kick at the edge of their own box, and they are going to get one, I think, in the end. Well, no, I take it all back. It's gone the other way.
It's
Brentford,
gone to Leeds.
Yeah, it has gone to Leeds. Brentford wanted a free kick for a challenge on Janelt seconds earlier. The referee didn't give it. Janelt felt as though he was being brought down there. And then when Sangare, I mean, I'm not entirely sure what the free kick actually been given for.
I think it's for a shirt pull from Sangare afterwards. I'm not sure, but it's a really dangerous position for Leeds United. And Mecha can hit this from distance, and Brentford doing what Leeds did earlier in the game, just not clearing the lines properly, and it's Steve tried to do. They tried to play it out from the back and then hit them on the counter, but this is a big chance for Leeds, because they had so few opportunities this half. They need to take advantage of it, either for a shot on goal or something from the training ground.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that there's Anton Stack. This is very much within his range.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
He scored a number of absolutely fantastic free kicks for Leeds from exactly this sort of distance and even further out. I seem to remember against Villa last season, against Emi Martinez, he scored an absolute beauty, but he steps up, it's into the wall, it says far too low from Anton Stack. And then this gives an opportunity now for Dango Otara. He actually feints away from James Justin before playing a ball down the right channel for Igor Thiago, back towards Dango. And then there's a run from Lewis Potter just ahead of him, but it's still Igor Thiago keeping the ball for Brentford. And now they're pushing forward over towards the left-hand side. He checks back and he just holds it up. He does really well, Igor Thiago, there to hold the ball up. He finds the Armoury of Brentford are now going forward in numbers, with Dango Otara just holding it up at the edge of the area on the right-hand side. Puts a cross in, which is an awful cross after all of that build-up. It's at least 10 yards away from any Brentford player, and it's an easy catch for Trafford.
It's a terrible cross, because the run from Lewis Potter, it's actually going behind the defence there. So what it needed to be, it needs to be a dinked cross from the left. Instead, he just hits it, and it would have gone out for a goal kick if Trafford hadn't picked it up. But again, Leeds, bit of pressure, free kick. Brentford still very dangerous on the counter-attack, but as Brentford, I'm sure I don't need to tell the Brentford fans, basically they haven't been clinical enough when they need to. To be.
Brentford traditionally aren't a very good side ever since they've been in the Premier League. Really, they aren't they aren't a good team in terms of holding on to leads. They do tend to let a lot of leads slip. They're a team that do like to close up. Most teams who have got a lead late on in a game, but they aren't the best team at soaking up pressure. And they'll certainly feel as though the amount of attacking possession and chances they've created this afternoon, they'll be frustrated they're only at 1-0 up, because now Leeds are on the attack again here. Dan James gets the ball into the box. It's a low cross, but it's a good clearance from Haya. It's a lot of distance on it as well. It's out for a throw. Yeah, it's good play from Leeds, and it's a poor cross from Dan James in the end. But Leeds arguably the best spell of the game right now. They are pushing. They're not creating too many big chances, but it's probably 15 to 20 minutes left with injury time, and plenty of time for both teams to score, because it's still very open. It is still very open, and the Leeds are going to try and open up even more here now as the ball into the box. Lovely turn, fires it in, and Leeds have got to go back. Leeds have got to go back inside the last 12 minutes of this game. There are just too many bodies inside the box, and it's Calvert-Lewin who finishes from close range. Brentford just guilty of leaving too many gaps at the back. Yeah, it's good play on the right-hand side, and the cross into to Calvert-Lewin. It's just a tap in the middle there. So it's you can't say actually it's not been coming as such, but it's the best spell of the game so far, and it's good. Oh, it looks like it might be offside there when we look at that again. Yes. That is been a tight. That's going to be close. They're very tight call. They're going to have to check that one as well. I'll say. And Matchday cross into the box, and I think. See, from that angle there, it actually looks better from Leeds, from Leeds' point of view. I think it's the outstretched leg from Collins that might play him. I mean, the offside line from Brentford wasn't great anyway, so from that point of view, I'm not sure if they even deserve to get an offside there, but we'll wait and see whether or not there is any VAR checking. Calvert-Lewin just putting his finger to his ear. No, they've checked it. There is no offside. I think Collins' foot was just, it's like a classic trailing foot, so his toe was playing them onside. So it's 1-1, and let's see if Brentford can come back again, because this is, it's like everyone can win this game. Yeah, Leeds will feel the momentum now. They will absolutely feel the momentum. Brentford have already made a defensive midfield change, so they're already more into sort of safety mode, really. Wait and see whether or not there's going to be any further tribulations in this game, but we have still got 10 minutes to go plus injury time. We're a little bit behind the game at the Stadium of Light there on 84 minutes, where it's Sunderland 1, Fulham 0. And it's 82 minutes at Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea lead against Brighton by 4-2. Nice turn there from Muhammad, but then he's challenged by Dango Otara. Brentford win the ball high up the field, and here is Otara now at the edge of the area. Gets a cross in, it's a shot from Thiago, and then the rebound is just dragged wide. He was already falling when he went for the second ball. He couldn't get it on target. But that's a very quick response from Brentford. It's a very quick response from Brentford, not for the first time. Muhammad just overruns the ball from defence, a bit too cocky maybe. And the first header is great. The second is difficult because it's on the floor. The rebound just inside the box, and he can't swing his body around the ball to get it on target. But it's a big chance for Brentford. Probably the best chance apart from the goal. Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I think that was a really good opportunity, and they'll be disappointed they couldn't make more of it. They're in possession here now. They've been under a lot of pressure in midfield. Dango Otara does well as he was being challenged by Anton Stach, and then it's Vitaly Janelt playing it back towards Nathan Collins. Collins then up towards the halfway line. Bit of a heavy touch there from Dango Otara. The ball just gets away from Yarmoliuk, and it's down to Calvert-Lewin. The ball into Dan James. He goes back towards Ampadu. Beckons for Dan James just to keep going on down that right-hand side. James gets to the edge of the area. His cross takes a deflection off Kevin Schade, and it's out for a corner. Yeah, it's difficult to tell whether Brentford now are happy with the draw, or because I think the tactic is still for Brentford to hit Leeds on the counter-attack. More of the game I expected for the first minute of the first half. So Leeds on top now. So Brentford they need to concentrate in defence to keep Leeds out. But from every set piece from Leeds, Brentford are creating chances if it's the right clearance. Well, here comes the ball in from Wilson. It's a good header away by Aya. The ball that's bouncing at the edge of the area. It's touched on back towards Harry Wilson. And he plays the ball down this right-hand channel into Stach. It's back to Wilson. Stach again, and then there's a chance for a strike at the edge of the area, but it's lifted over the bar off his weaker left foot there from Dan James, and out for a goal kick. Yeah, it's a decent play from Leeds, and he should do better, because it's a good cross, a good shooting opportunity, but it's leaning back. I think he's baffled by the press from the defender, and it just leads back, and it goes into row set behind the goal. But 8 minutes to go. This is it's a great spectacle for the neutrals, and a really entertaining football game. Yeah, everybody's certainly. I think the neutrals would have enjoyed this game. The two sets of fans might have had their ups and downs. Igor Thiago's called for a foul as he was trying to win the ball back there. And he can't quite believe that decision. Let's just see whether or not the linesman was right. It's Dango Otara who heads it on.
It's nothing.
Elvedi wouldn't get. I think strikers in that situation always seem to get a little bit more of a rough deal than defenders do.
I think so, and especially because of that, it's not clean through on goal, but it's clean through down the line for that, unless it was offside. Because for me, that's not a free kick.
No, I think that's he was a bit unlucky there, Igor Thiago. Possession stats, 60-40 for Leeds in the second half. They have stepped things up and they're on the attack now with a space down the right-hand side. Dan James goes for goal. His effort gets a big deflection. It's out for a corner.
Yeah, you've got to get credit to Farke with the substitution. It's worked.
It has definitely changed the game in Leeds' favour.
It's a gamble, but 70 minutes to use all five defenders. And early season, cramp will probably play a part later on.
Well, here comes the in-swinger from Wilson. It really is in-swinging. That's heading towards goal. It needed a save there from Kelleher. I think that corner kick was going straight into the net on its own, but now Sharda keeps the ball in play and brings it away. He almost actually puts it out for a throw, where he just about gets it back towards Anton Stach. And I think the referee, what's the referee given here?
I think he actually ran it out of play.
Sharda there. It didn't look to me like the ball had crossed the line entirely, but it has been given as a throw to Leeds on the left-hand side.
Yeah, it's poor play from Sharda. He just apologises to his teammates there, because I think he just kicks the ground while they should just play an easy pass back to Kayode.
Yeah, that was the easy option. It didn't take it, and now it's been given away. Possession given away here to Leeds, and it's going to be a long throw from Ethan Ampadu. Just waiting to see where his teammates are inside the penalty area. So Ampadu is ready. Can launch this ball into the 6-yard box. Now it's nodded on. Bit of a scramble for it as Brentford try and get a foot onto it, and they eventually do. Yano hooks that one up towards the halfway line, where Tanaka is the last man back for Leeds. He plays it forward, and now there's an awkward bounce, and suddenly it's a great chance for Leeds to win it. Oh, it's into the 6-yard box. It's just stopped. Oh, Brentford just completely fell asleep there. There was one through ball. Elvedi had got through. There is actually an offside after all of that. But that was very, very close to Leeds taking all 3 points.
It's a brilliant chance, but it always looked offside. It's not even close onside there for. I think it's
Muharrem. Elvedi wasn't offside, but Muharrem does go for the ball, and he was offside.
Whether he touches the ball, it doesn't matter, because it ducks, and therefore that's a clear offside. But fantastic save by Keller there from Calvert-Lewin, because that was a clear on goal.
He didn't know he was offside when he made that save, of course. So he needed to. Get his hand down to that. It was a great save from the Republic of Ireland international, who then takes the free kick himself, and he launches it long towards the edge of the penalty area. Gets away from Igor Thiago, but it's played back to Sharda. Sharda, then a little back heel there, attempt to try and get the ball in. Yarmolenko, he couldn't quite find Sharda. It's still bouncing at the edge of the box before Wilson tries to get there. Sharda saying it should be our ball. He knows he touched that one last, though, and it is out for a throw to Leeds. But yeah, every result in this game is still possible.
Absolutely, and what's happening now? It's a very even game at the moment. In the first half, that Sharda would have won that game, won that ball, and the throw would have gone to Brentford. Leeds intensity much better, especially now in this period of the second half. And it's like Brentford should have been out of sight with all the nearly chances they had. But it's almost like, do Brentford take the draw now when they've been pegged back?
I think if you said to Brentford now on 87 minutes that we can end the game now, I still think that they probably want to, well, particularly now as they're getting ready to make a triple change as well, so they are going to try and influence the game as much as they can in these last few minutes. We can see Aaron Hickey's getting ready to come on, as is Rico Henry. Couldn't quite see who the third sub for Brentford there was, but Calvert-Lewin now going after the ball. He couldn't keep it in play. I think he has gone out for a throw to Leeds, though. Touch off the Brentford man. Yeah, they've taken it short. They've gone back towards their own goalkeeper now. He's been closed down. Here is Trafford. Muharrem then going back towards Trafford. He shanks that one, though. He gets that one all wrong, and it's out for a throw. I mean, he gets a lot of distance on it, but it's out for a throw.
Yeah, Trafford's distribution has not been good today. He had a couple of bad, poor passes earlier on the game as well, and I think Murmorovic in defence for Leeds, he struggled all game, and he's the only one left from starting lineup.
Yes, he is now, as Brentford make this triple change. It's Callum Wilson, Aaron Hickey and Rico Henry getting ready to come on. And so confirmation then that the first player to go off here for Brentford, the official still is Michael Kayode. He's going to be going off to be replaced by Aaron Hickey. Makes perfect sense on the right-hand side for the visitors. You would imagine that Lewis Potter will be going off to be replaced by Rico Henry, and that's exactly what's happening now. So Rico Henry on for Lewis Potter, and as I say, there'll be no surprise that Callum Wilson will be a like-for-like swap for Igor Thiago. So confirmation then. In fact, no, I take it back. It's Sharda who's gone off here late on, so it's going to be Igor Thiago and Callum Wilson playing up front here for Brentford in these last final minutes.
Well, I think that's the answer.
And actually,
if you take the 1-1 draw, I think that's the answer to it.
It is, absolutely, and mistakes here as well. Apologies for what we saw on our screen before. Rico Henry's not come on the field at all. It's actually Malik Diouf that's making his Brentford debut. Apologies for that. We did have number 3 flashed up on our screens very briefly, but they will be that Brentford have changed their mind very quickly. But now Leeds have won the ball, and suddenly it's opening up. Brentford are playing a high line, but crucial interception there from Collins, although a terrible pass out. It doesn't give Malik Diouf any chance to get on the end of that. Leeds are back on the attack now with the Metcalfe just at the edge of the area. He gets brought down. That's not going to be a free kick though. Brentford now have it here with Diouf sending that ball over the halfway line. Chasing that one all the way was Callum Wilson. He's out. He's back into midfield here with Yeko Yarmouk. He plays it back towards Aaron Hickey. It's all the way back now towards the goalkeeper. Kelleher clears it over the halfway line. Doing their best to try and maintain the ball. It just squirms away though from Callum Wilson. Chased the second ball, but it's been cleared. It's out for a throw to Brentford now on the right-hand side. We're about 40 seconds away from injury time. Yeah,
I think both teams now they're taking fewer risks in defence. A lot more balls are just cleared away from dangerous situations instead of trying to play themselves out of trouble from behind. So there's been a lot of ball back and forwards the last couple of minutes. I think with the Brentford changes, at least they have the freshest legs now. That was purely fresh leg. Fresh leg changes from.
Yes, it is.
But obviously the quality of the players coming on. But it's. I thought Sharda, he scored a goal. It's been excellent. And obviously, Andrews probably think he may not have the legs for the defensive work. That's
maybe not for tracking back. Exactly that. Yeah. So that's why they've brought on Diouf just to try and cover that side a little better, as well as covering for Lewis Potter. It's all over at the Stadium of Light, where Sunderland have beaten Fulham by 1-0. They're also into injury time at Stamford Bridge, as indeed we are. We've not had the board up yet. I'm assuming it's going to be a 5 or a 6 added to this game. And it's only a 3. I'm quite surprised by that. But there we go. So still 2.5 minutes to play then at Ellen Road. Strong challenge there in midfield. Wins the ball back for Brentford. It was a challenge from Diouf. And then Yarmouk spots the run of Hickey down the right-hand side. He's heading towards the penalty area. Cross is taken down. Wilson wants to go for goal. He gets challenged. And the ball is put out for a throw to Brentford on the right-hand side, but it looks like Maramovic has really felt that one.
Yeah, it looks like just a collision with Wilson. I think it's Maramovic actually clears the ball out for a throw-in the end. He sets himself up for a shot there, Wilson. Almost like, see if that could be a penalty to Wilson. I'm not sure if he's on the ball then, Maramovic, so it's Tanaka that actually clears it. Yeah,
Tanaka that clears it. I think VAR probably have already had a look at it. They've had enough time to. So if there was going to be any decision there, I think we probably would have known about it by now. Maramovic is quick to stand up and tell the referee he thought he was being fouled there, which we've just seen from the replay that he wasn't. But Hickey is now going to take the throw. Brentford's main long throw threat, Michael Coyote, now going off the field. Hickey doesn't seem to be limbering up for a long throw, and he's taking a while over this as well. Does finally take the throw. He gets the ball back here from Yano. Then that's an awful pass from Hickey. There's no chance of Yano getting on the end there, but it's not the best clearance either. And Brentford have another throw. Yarmouk waiting to take it.
Brentford are playing like a home team. It looks like the Brentford trying to go for the win, but a cross into the box now.
Yes, Yarmouk with the ball in. It's nodded clear, and it will be kept alive here on the left-hand side. The cross comes in, but it's too close to Trafford. And he makes a comfortable save, and he boots this one long as well, trying to get Leeds on the attack as quickly as he can. A bouncing ball, which is going to get through. Harry Wilson is saying that he was fouled. That shouldn't be. It's going to be a free kick, the referee's saying. I actually thought that there was just as much of a collision there from Wilson into Collins rather than Collins into Wilson, but the referee has given the free kick the way of Leeds.
Yeah, if it is a foul and if it's correct decision, it's a totally unnecessary foul because Keller had that covered all day long. So it's so looking at the replay now because the ball bouncing just outside the box. Keller's got the ball, and it's just a coming together. I can't see it as a foul at all. Just have a look again, right? It's not.
He's moving into Wilson a little bit, but I think he's a little bit. I still think he's a bit unlucky there, Collins. But
it's really poor defending from Collins. There's no need.
There's no need at all. No, I mean
Kelleher's got the ball.
Kelleher's 1 second away from catching that, and as I say, it's really